Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for 2023. This is part 2 of 2023, and we're going to start by looking at your 5th house, which is the house of romance, play, self-expression, creativity, good fortune, things like that. You start with this change card and this poverty card, and again, these cards are a little bit negative, so I wouldn't worry too much about that poverty card. Even intuitively, I feel like some of you it could just be more kind of like your emotions where you're feeling a little bit, like you're in poverty. And I do feel there's like some sort of emotional fulfillment that you are looking for. That could actually be a major theme for you this year, Libra, because even right away going here, you have this Act card and you also have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, sometimes I feel like it suggests that the person I'm reading for is on this journey of like seeking something or looking for something. I feel like you're looking for change, yes, but because you have that change card there, obviously. But I feel like you're looking for some sort of emotional like support or emotional comfort, or it could just be a relationship that you're looking for just in general, so that you can feel like you are supported. And that's kind of like the feeling that I get there with that energy is what I'd say to you. I also have a very, very strange message popping into my head here, Libra, that like I feel like it's saying don't worry about certain changes that are, coming in at this time. It's like, have you ever listened to old people talk? It's like I love old people personally, and so I used to, when I was a kid, I was a weird kid. I used to hang out with my grandpa all the time, which I mean that's not weird, but I used to love hanging out with old people basically. And one thing that used to stand out to me is that sometimes they would talk about changes like, computers and all this other stuff, and they would look at it so negatively. And really, if they looked at it positively, they would see all the benefits that those things have brought into the world. It's like every change has its positives and negatives. And I feel like there could be some changes where, I feel like the 89-year-old inside of all of us, the 89-year-old inside of you, Libra, could be coming out this year. So I kind of feel like this is saying like, hey, this is the house of creativity, the 5th house. If there are changes that are happening in any area of your life, what can you do to get some sort of reward out of those changes? Like what can you do to get the gold from those things? I'm a big fan of doing that, mostly because I was miserable many years ago at a point in my life where I was just looking at everything as negatively as I possibly could, right? And, I had to learn that there is gold in every single situation that we go through. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. It doesn't matter what it is. But we have to look for it. And I feel like that's what this is saying. I don't even think this is a bad thing. I just think that, there could be, changes at work. And it's like, how can you look at it as a good thing, not a bad thing? And there could be changes in love. How can you look at it as a good thing, not a bad thing, right? And I feel like that's what this is encouraging you to do. You have the 4 swords, the 3 of pentacles, and the justice card. So you're coming up in this first position. The thing is, I feel like you're very attractive at this time as well. Again, 5th house is a house of romance. I think what's missing here is play, right? The 5th house is the house of like play and self-expression, but you have that 4 swords, and weirdly enough, I was like seeing it in my head almost like the 8 of swords, but I was seeing it in my head as like the guy standing there with like 3 swords in front of him. Not 4, yes, I know. But again, I read intuitively, so I have to deliver these messages that I get. So I kind of see this as like play in my head. I feel like you need to be more playful, or maybe you need to like not take things too seriously, or maybe you just need to do some things to enjoy yourself more. And that's what I would be doing here with this energy. You also have the 3 of pentacles. And so I do feel that there are people who are willing to work on a team with you. So far, you only have like 2 people here. Could be another air sign, could be a fixed sign, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or Leo, or it could be a fire sign in general coming in for you if you want love. And I feel like there are people who want to put in the work. I feel like your trick is to not rush right in, Libra, with that justice card. Justice is like equal give and take, but it says also, if you have a habit, which I think a lot of spiritual people have a bad habit of giving too much right up front, right? Because we're givers. We want to be nice to people. We want to be good to people, right? But I feel like this is saying, it's not like you're holding back. I think it's just like saying, don't just, what do they say? Don't spill all your candy in the lobby, is what they say. I don't know who says that, but somebody famous says it. And, basically it says like, don't give everything away up front, right? Kind of like make the person earn it, especially if you're putting in the work. And again, there's a difference between, again, this isn't like you're playing games, making someone wait 6 months for what or whatever, right? This is like just, kind of equal give and take. You have the Four of Swords here. Four of Swords is a card of recovery, and I do feel like healing, but again, I get this like Eight of Swords thing popping into my head. I feel like it's pretty simple. I feel like it's saying you need more play in your life, even just outside of love. We're not even just talking about love here. I'm talking about in your life in general, so make sure to do that. With the Four of Swords, you have this criticism card. Stop criticizing yourself here, Libra. Again, I get this like I said, I felt that the Justice card is you being a little bit kind of critical of yourself, not seeing all the things that you have to offer, not, seeing what you bring to the table. So I feel like you need to be like a little bit more, kind of like embrace yourself here. Nobody's perfect, right? Don't be too critical on yourself. With the Three of Pentacles, you have this endurance card. I feel like you could be attracting a person like this. Funny enough, this card here is the Sun in Scorpio, but, it's kind of funny because it to me, it looks like the Strength card, and it could be a Leo coming in for you. Of course, it could be a Scorpio because I said that on the Wheel of Fortune. But I think what's more important is that you could be attracting a person who has a lot of endurance. If you're looking for, like, what does this person look like, or, what is something about them, I would say that they don't give up very easily. I feel like literally you can look at their life and see many, many areas of their life where they just kept going. So definitely could be attracting kind of like a workhorse type of personality or whatever you want to call it. But more importantly, I think this person has staying power as well. With the Justice card, you have this excitement card. Every single person has had this card. So there is a lot of excitement, obviously, coming in this year, or, I think people could be excited about different things. I don't know. I also have a movie popping into my head for some reason, but I don't even know what movie it is. So I don't know, maybe you need to go to the movies. Maybe you're excited about a movie, and maybe you just need to let loose and go have fun at the movies. But like I said, everybody has had the excitement card, so clearly there's a lot of excitement. Next, we're going to look at your 6th house, which is going to represent work, your daily routine, your daily habits, health, things like that. You have this Clarify card and this Aries card. It says Act on it. So I would definitely, you have the Knight of Swords here. The Knight of Swords is my card of getting a second opinion. So if you have anything that's health-related coming up, I would get a second opinion for sure. And you have this card that says Clarify on it. So I would get clarity if you're not sure about what's going on, or if you're not feeling right? Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but, if one doctor tells you one thing and another tells you another, it might be time to get a second opinion. It might be time to go find another doctor, or it might be time just to make sure, right? Honestly, I would get a second opinion on anything this year, especially if it's going to cost a lot of money with that Knight of Swords. Again, I would say, like, this isn't something to be paranoid about, because if you get a second opinion, you'll find a good solution, is the whole point of the Knight of Swords. But, I mean, that's my version. That's not really accurate tarot, but I kind of feel that for you with this energy. I also feel that, I've been fighting off a cold for like 2 weeks here, Libra. I also feel that there could be an Aries coming in for you if you want love. You could be meeting this person through work, obviously. You have the Page of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Swords. I also kind of feel this is connected to this first row about not reacting to changes. I feel that there could be some changes. I remember, like, I used to work at this cafe, and they basically, we used to just dress up regularly, right? Just in regular clothing. And then they wanted us to start dressing like butlers. I am not even kidding when I tell you this, Libra. They wanted us to dress up with like bow ties and like all this other bullshit, and I was not having it, right? And basically, long story short, I was talking about it to customers, and my boss had a meeting, and he said, basically, we know that you guys are talking to customers, and that, you don't like that you want us to dress like, and I raised my hand. I said, that was me. Like, I wanted him to know that I was not going to dress like a freaking butler, right? But what I would say to you is that there might be a change in work that's actually a little bit more positive than that. I feel like there's some gold in it. There was no gold in me dressing like a butler. I quit shortly after that because no, not going to happen. But what I would say here is there could be a change where, you have that immediate reaction where you're going to go off. But I feel like there could be a positive change, actually. Or whatever it is going to benefit you. You have this Wheel of Fortune as well. There's definitely some sort of change in your daily routine happening for you, I would say. I kind of feel that This could also be just a turnaround in yourself. The sixth house is like self-improvement or some sort of self-improvement that you could be going through. And I feel you could be taking control of your destiny with this Wheel of Fortune, because the Wheel of Fortune is your destiny, as in it's your personal vision for your life. I kind of see you kind of like adding little bits of kind of like things to your day that you get you closer to some sort of goal that you want to achieve. So I kind of get goal achievement here on the Wheel of Fortune. I get some sort of success coming in for you because you're like more focused. Or again, maybe your boss wants you to dress like a butler and you're like, I need to get out of here. I need to start working on my side hustle. That could be what's happening here, Libra. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands, of course, could be love coming in for you. I feel something here about meeting someone through work or business. So I do feel you could meet this person like at work. Feels just like a little bit mysterious to me. Like I'm not sure, maybe there are rules against dating at work or in business or something. So there's like some sort of mystery here. This person could also be younger than you as well. I don't always feel that with the pages, but I do here. With the Page of Wands, you have this eccentricity card. There you go. This person is different. Like, I feel like this person is maybe not like your usual type. Maybe they're, different, or they're mysterious in some way. So that's interesting. They could be a little eccentric as well. I also think that for some of you, if you have any eccentric ideas, I would definitely be investing in those ideas. These could be weird ideas for your business. I have some big announcements coming up, so get ready. I'm taking advantage of this Pluto and Aquarius energy, but there you go. I'm going to be mysterious. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have this health card showing up in the house of health, so clearly there could be some sort of positive health change coming in for you because you have the Wheel of Fortune. Again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. Obviously, if you're eating, 10 pounds of candy every single day, then, I would make some changes. But what I would say here is, looks pretty good. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Fortune card. I feel like there are good fortune. See, here's the thing. And I don't want to keep switching here, but look, he's going back to the past this way, the Knight of Swords. I almost feel like this reading is saying that if there's some sort of change in work or business, don't run away from it right away. It could be just a change in your personal life as well, with that change card. But again, I get the old person thing. I hope this is making sense because it just keeps repeating for me in my head. But I feel like it's actually going to be very fortunate. But again, maybe your initial reaction is that, these mother effers want me to dress like a butler right now. But I don't think that's the case, Libra. I feel like this is like legitimate and positive, and it's actually going to be much better than you think. Next, in the area of your 7th house for relationships, marriage, could also be contracts as well. You have this Y card and this no place like home card. Libra, listen. You're not going to find your life partner sitting on the couch at home, right? You have to get out in public. You have to go do things. And, I'm not picking on you ladies, but I think that, it's not the 1960s anymore where, guys are going to approach you. Tinder, I blame Tinder and Bumble for ruining everything, and Instagram as well. But, what I would say here is, you're going to have to put in a little effort, get out there, go on dates, meet people, get on Tinder, and all this other stuff. People always leave me comments saying, I don't want to be on Tinder. I hate Tinder, and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. I would, even if you hate Tinder, I would be on Tinder if you want love. And here's the reason why. Is because it's like the universe is providing you with something, an opportunity to find love. So if you're saying, universe, I want love, but then you're refusing to be on Tinder, for example, then you're telling the universe you don't want love, right? So it's like, I always tell people, it's like we have to be in the energy of something that, we have to be in the energy of having the thing that we want, number one. But also, if we want love, we can't be creating these, these opposite vibrations. So even if you hate Tinder, just be on it, right? Then you're saying, I'm legitimately looking for love, and take it seriously, right? And if you're like, I hate the F boys, F girls, whatever, it's like, then you don't have to go out with these people, right? Just be on it. And if you meet someone who's legitimate, then go on a date, right? But on top of that, you're going to have to do something here, like leave the house, take a risk. You have the 5 of Swords, literally says, take a risk. And by the way, this Y card was for me to tell you why you need to be on Tinder, right? If you're looking for love. You have the 5 of Swords, the Temperance card, and the Ace of Cups. There is love here. The 5 of Swords could be some sort of breakup or separation that some of you have gone through. It's kind of interesting because I do feel, looking at this reading, that there is kind of like a rebirth in your love life. I don't think that necessarily someone is coming back from the past. I just feel like your love life is kind of being reborn. Maybe you haven't been experiencing relationships for a long time, or just, maybe you haven't had the experiences that you want to be having. And again, I feel there's kind of like some sort of change here, but it's going to come in through risk. Again, Five of Swords can be a breakup, but again, to me, it's like a clue card for taking some sort of risk, like putting yourself out into the world or something like that. It could also be a Sagittarius coming in for you. I mean, you have like every single fire sign here, but Temperance is like turning one thing into another. I would be very careful of your attitude this year as far as love is concerned. Not calling you out here, Libra, but what I would say is like, I do feel, I mean, I think this is true for everyone, but I think it's true for you this year the most, is that the way you feel, again, about relationships, could be affecting the relationships you attract. So I would make sure to, again, as Esther Hicks says, Abraham Hicks, look for the things that you want to see. Don't look for the things that you don't want to see. And I know that sounds obvious, but I've met both sides. I've met people who look for exactly what they don't want to see, and I've met people who look for exactly what they want to see. And it's like both sides get exactly what they want. So, again, I don't know. I've learned so many lessons, even over this past year about kind of like looking for exactly what you want and getting it, right? So that's what I feel like this Temperance card is saying for some reason. You have the Ace of Cups here, so definitely could be a love offer coming in for you if you're looking for love. That Y card plus this, for whatever reason, also is saying to me, if you're like signing any contracts this year, I would not just sign a contract. Like, if you're signing important contracts for work or for business, I would really get like 3 sets of eyes on it, not even just 2 sets of eyes like yours and someone else's. I would like have 3 people look at a contract and just make sure, especially, for some reason it's popping into my head as work. I don't think there would be anything, bad in it. I just think that it's more like making sure you get what you want, making sure you get what you deserve. I would also not accept anything like, let's say you have a boss that's like, oh, we're going to, give you a raise every 6 months, which is fine. But maybe in the contract, it says every 12 months. And then you go to the boss and you say, hey, this is supposed to say every 6 months. The boss might try to be like, oh, no, don't worry about it. We just, but I'd be like, no, I am worried about it. We're not going to sign this with 12 months. I would like stick to your guns here as far as contracts are concerned. I just get a need to like stick up for yourself, if that makes sense here, Libra. I don't know, I'm getting a lot for you, Libra, in this reading. With the Five of Swords, you have this domination card. Everybody, a lot of people have had this card, and I shouldn't say everybody, but, multiple people have had this card. And, maybe you feel like you've been dominated in past relationships, or maybe someone has, you feel like has had the power dynamic in relationships, if that makes sense. And I kind of feel like you're looking for more balance, different message than what I've been getting for everyone else, right? With the Temperance card, you have the Publicity card here. A really good card, especially this year, because we have Pluto going into Aquarius. I think there's a lot of good things that could come out of Pluto and Aquarius, and maybe some, I don't know. I feel like there's some scary things as well. I don't know that they'll happen, but definitely I would be trying to get as much attention as you possibly can, especially if you want love, and that's really what I would be doing there. With the Ace of Cups, yes, you have this Devotion card. I love this card. I feel like you're attracting someone who is devoted to you, It's like this bird is dead right here, and this one's like standing by it, which, how cute is that, Libra? And what I would say is, I feel like you're kind of looking for maybe more that till death do us part. And even at that, that person, they better be bringing flowers to your grave, right? I feel like that's like the type of person you could be attracting. Next, in the area of your 8th house, which is other people's money, debts, insurance, stuff like that. You have this Comfort card. It says, your income is steady and living comfortably. Love it. It says here, keep raising the bar and get out of your comfort zone, which we said with that Five of Swords. I definitely feel, though, that you need to keep raising the bar. Like, if you make a certain amount of money, it's like, I would ask yourself, how can I double it, right? Or something crazy like that. I keep encouraging people to do crazy things right now like that, even if you think it's impossible, or how can I make 10 times my income in 1 month, right? Those are the crazy questions I'd be asking myself. Just ask the question. I don't think people realize that once you ask the question, you're putting it out into the universe. The universe is like, okay, brings you all the ideas, the things you need, the people, everything. You have this charity card. It says, donate to creative energy around you. So I would say that I would be, like, I don't think this is necessarily saying you have to donate money. It could be, but I also feel it could say that if you're thinking about investing your time, effort, and energy into any causes that matter to you, I think that could be very helpful for you. And, the thing is that the eighth house is also shared resources. So, if there are any like community projects or anything like that that you want to work on, this would be a good time. You have the Judgment card, the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Hangman. I do feel there's like, if you owe money, if you have a debt, if you are dealing with the government or anything like that, I feel like some of you could currently be dealing with an issue. You already know about it. I don't think this is a surprise here. But you have the Three of Swords and Hangman. This is, for some reason, I'm getting like some of you have a debt or something that's taken a long time to pay off or whatever. I feel like it would just be a good year, number one, to negotiate debts. Just even looking at the astrology, I think it's a great year to be like, to call up your bank and be like, okay, we have this debt, but I want to negotiate it. Because I don't know, I just feel like there could be a lot of opportunity to do that. Or if you have any other debt, I would negotiate it for sure. The other thing is, like, I feel like something's taking too long intuitively here. So again, if you could like get a raise or promotion and start paying just like a little bit extra, I feel like it would have a big impact on the debt if you have a debt or if you owe money or whatever to anything. I would look into that. You have the Three of Swords here as well. Three of Swords could be like a heartbreak or separation. Three of Swords, this is the eighth house. Eighth house has a lot to do with intimacy as well. I do feel like you want intimacy. Again, we said this kind of like in your first part of the reading, that I felt this like, or I don't know if I said this or if I'm making this up in my head, honestly, but I feel like I said this, that I feel you want more like of an emotional connection. I feel like I said something about like an emotional connection or wanting to be connected, right? So I feel like you maybe have a desire to have a connection with a person emotionally, but this could also involve like intimacy. But maybe there's some things from the past that need to be healed as well. So I would make sure, to practice forgiveness with the Three of Swords. You don't have to forgive a person. You're really just forgiving yourself with the Three of Swords. And finally, really good, you have the Ace of Pentacles in the Judgment card here. I feel like you're waking up to a lot of ideas on how to increase your financial opportunities. I also feel any of you that like want a new job, again, this is the eighth house, which is other people's money. It can be money going out, right, to another person, but it can also be money coming in to you from like a job. So if you want a new job or new opportunity, I feel there could be some really good new opportunities coming in for you financially. And I feel like these things will, like, I feel like saying they buffer you. That's the word that's popping into my head, is buffer for some reason, which could also be like waiting, like your computer is buffering. That's what I mean by buffer, but I don't know. It's like something has been buffering in the background, I feel. And it's like finally appearing with this Ace of Pentacles. Definitely could be like a new job or kind of like a position that you've been waiting for a long time. Let's see. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Judgment card, you have this Acquisition card. Love it. If you're attracting love into your life, that could be leveling you up for sure. It's very interesting that a lot of people have been getting this card as well. So this card kind of gives me like power couple vibes. But I would also say that, I just think that people could be matching up this year for whatever reason, even if you've been single for a long time. I know, it's pretty surprising. This kind of reminds me of the 2022 readings, the 2022 yearly readings, where I was kind of surprised to see like how much love came up. This year is very different because I feel like it's the whole entire year. In 2022, I felt like it was just the end of the year that love could be coming in. I also see like more people kind of teaming up in relationships, more teamwork type relationships, if that makes sense. With the Three of Swords, you have this Innovation card, trying something new. You have to change your story. This whole entire reading is really saying that you have to change your story, Libra. Innovation is doing something new, doing something different. Aquarius energy right here. We have Pluto going into Aquarius. Again, I think it's one of the biggest changes that we'll be experiencing. You have three Aquarius cards showing up here. So, definitely I would say trying something new, doing something different would be a good idea. But I would be looking at your story. Like if you want love, what is your love story? How can you change it? Do you have to find a different type of person? Do you have to meet people in different locations or different places? Like what is it, right? Same thing with your money. It's like, what has your financial story been? How can you change it? With the Hangman, you have this Originality card. How can you be more original? Pretty simple. This is a very simple reading, Libra. I know what this is. The whole entire thing, you have the change card. I said not wanting to change, right? It's like, how can you change? I would be looking at whatever you want to change, and I would be saying, like, how can I change this? What can I do? I would just ask the question, like I said earlier. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this back card. It says, take care. Enemies are working against you. Again, I would just only worry about this type of stuff at the beginning of the year here, because we still have Mars retrograde, and you might as well wait until March, like the middle of March. And what I would say here is I wouldn't even worry about it. As I always say with Mars retrograde, I would just ignore any enemies or any gossip or people talking behind your back or whatever. I would just ignore it. If you try to defend yourself, you're going to look guilty or you're just going to not look good. You have this bear card. It says dangers, especially in money matters. Again, these cards are a little bit negative, so don't worry too much about this stuff. We looked at this. Next week, I'm going to be doing the final part of these yearly readings. We're going to be looking at like your 10th house and stuff, but I feel like your finances are going to be perfectly fine. As I always said, like I said earlier, the one thing I would do is if someone's telling you something costs a lot of money or if they're expecting a lot of money, what I would say is get a second opinion. You have this turkey card. It says someone is behaving stupidly here. We don't really see this here in this reading, so let's clarify this one as well. You have the sun. Well, I don't know. It says happiness and well-being, so I don't know. Maybe someone could be going away. So, like a turkey could be leaving your life from the past. You have this shield card. It says you need to defend yourself. I wouldn't defend yourself at the beginning of the year. Like I said, it's just going to make you look guilty, especially if someone's coming at you and stuff. Of course, put up boundaries or whatever if you have to do those things. But I wouldn't be like fighting to defend myself. Like I hope that makes sense too. I hope your whole entire reading makes sense, Libra, because I feel like it doesn't. But what I would say is, it's like if someone's making accusations, the only thing I would say is prove it. Like, especially at work, if like someone's going to your boss and saying they're doing this, I'd be like, prove it. It's not true. And I would just leave it at that. Because if you try to defend yourself, it's like Mars retrograde. I don't know what it is about Mars retrograde, but people like try to defend yourself, which just makes you look guilty. So I'd just be like, no, that's not true. Look at the evidence. That's what I would tell my boss. Like if you're dealing with a person at work, I'd be like, look at the evidence of what I do, right? Plain, and I would just leave it at that. Plain and simple. You have this skull card. It says hidden secrets can harm you. I feel like maybe some of you, we're going to pull another couple of these. These have all been sad. But what I would say is I feel like some of you have dealt with a person who has a lot of secrets. I'm going to pull two more. You have this dog close up. It says pleasure with a close friend. Remember, I would definitely be socializing and doing fun things this year. We talked about that at the beginning of the reading. You also have this wind chimes card. It says peace and harmony. I feel like this is what you want. I feel like everybody wants more peace and harmony this year. But this looks pretty good, minus those cards. But, it is what it is. So thank you for being here. Again, part 3 will be out soon. Part 1 is linked up down below. So thank you for being here, Libra. I really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.